Welcome to I'm Too Busy, an interview-based show hosted by a talented makeup artist, Christina Flach. Christina offers viewers a unique blend of personal stories, inspiring journeys, and practical beauty tips. Join the conversation as Christina features successful individuals from various industries who share their insights on health, wellness, makeup, and the keys to their success. So now, please welcome the host of I'm Too Busy, Christina Flach.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christina Flach, and welcome to I'm Too Busy TV, where we explore the lives and secrets of some of the world's busiest and most successful individuals. Today, I am so thrilled to have a man who I absolutely adore, who harnesses the forces of heaven and earth to bring success to his clients. Please welcome the master of Feng Shui, my dear friend, and Chinese astrology, David Cho.
Hey, how are you, girl?
Hello, my love. How are you?
Good. Thanks
I'm
for
so
having me.
honored that you're here today.
Maybe after after I'm done with the show, you won't be feeling that way at all. But we'll give it a shot.
And I love how he's my grumpiest person. I'm fond of grumpy men, as he knows.
You told me. Who
I'm
told you?
teasing.
No,
I'm
I've had
teasing.
that reputation actually.
No, you're fabulous. So, David, let's just dive into this right now. Well, why don't I back up a bit? I met David through my best friend, Diana Stobo. After my husband died, my whole world turned upside down. And she told me the house that we had lived in for 2 years, we had bought from someone where the husband had died in the house. And so my husband didn't die in the house, but he died 2 years later. And so my friend said, I think we need to have David Cho step in and check and see if this house is got some really bad energy, and see what he says. So hence I called David, and he kindly, looked over the plans of my house. And we figured out that it had nothing to do, these two deaths had nothing to do with the house. The house was actually incredibly perfectly placed in the world. But David made some changes. There were water troughs, there were tea candles that I lit in different places in the house. There was weights that I put in different places of the house. So I did everything he said, and my world flipped. It was like everything changed, everything shifted, and I am forever grateful. And so I am so excited to have him on today to share his magic. I mean, it's not magic, it's real. But David, tell us about what you do.
Well, you're absolutely right. It isn't magic, and a lot of it, the things that we can do to achieve success are actually within our grasp, and those are very, very tangible efforts that we can expend. And what I've done is that I've kind of summarized those 5 things for all my clients, and I probably see 1,000 people a year. And I summarize them as the 5 fixes for abundance. So it's really simple. Is that the first thing that you have to do is that you have to practice good karma, because if you don't do good for others, then good is not going to rebound to you, and so that you absolutely have to do. If you have bad intentions, then you might as well turn this show off right now, because this show.
We're all about the good woo-woo.
Yeah. And then the second thing you need is that you need to know yourself and your tribe, or your inner circle, meaning that you have to know what your strengths are as well as what your weaknesses are, so that way you can manage your expectations and create the best interactions and outcomes between the people who you interact with. And that you can do by simply knowing your Chinese sign. And I don't have a chart for you to tell you, for you to look up your sign, but you
I'm a
look on
horse.
the internet. Yeah, you're a horse. No, I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about the audience. That you can easily look up your sign, although probably 90% of the world already knows their Chinese signs. So of the 12 signs, you have certain ones that are really good at front of the house activities. Then you have others
And
that are
what is
real.
front of the house activities? What does that mean?
Front of the house activities means things like starting deals, schmoozing, getting a party started, or initiating a sales presentation. Whereas back of the house activities are the ones who actually attend to the details and do all the heavy lifting and dot all the I's and cross the T's. Then you've got those that are really good at coming up with the ideas. They're the multitaskers of the Zodiac. So that if you compare them to, let's say, for instance, if you wanted to put together a Broadway production. Well, what you want is you want one sign that is good at coming up with the composition and the score or the story. Those are the multitaskers. Then you want so they're the composers or the Mozarts of the production. And then you want the conductor of the orchestra. Those are the signs that would, uh, those are the back of the house ones that do all the heavy lifting and produce the show. And then finally, you need the players and the actors, and those are the front of the house people. So the back of the house sign, or the composer signs are that if you want a successful interaction, you want a one from one group, which would be the Mozarts of the groups, and those would be the snakes, the monkeys, the pigs, and the tigers. And then you want a conductor or a producer to actually bring the project to fruition. And those would be the ram, the dog, the ox, and the dragon. And then you want the ones that do the acting and the playing or do all the fairy dust sprinkling. And
Mm-hmm.
those, your rabbits, your horses, your roosters, and your rats. And if you try and get a rabbit, or one of the players, the well, again, the rabbit, the horse, the rooster, or the rat to actually conduct the orchestra, you're not using them to their full talents. So what I've done on that chart that you put up is I've just kind of used like two or three words to describe the strengths of each Chinese sign. So once you know their uh, potential as well as their limitations, you can really manipulate their skills to affect the best outcome. So that's another one of the fixes for abundance. And then the next one is one that really has the most effect, and that's optimizing your feng shui. What is feng shui, people ask me? Well, feng shui is a study of magnetic energy and how it can affect different aspects of a person's life. And those different aspects of a person's life can include their wealth, their health, their love, their fertility, creativity. It can even affect their sex life. And there's no guesswork involved in any of that. And because this whole the theme of this show is that we're too busy, is that we will cover two specific aspects uh, of your life, and that'll include wealth and attracting love later on in another segment of the show.
Yes.
Now, finally, the last fix is that, you can't just expect to put a bucket of water or burn some candles in a certain place and expect all kinds of opportunities to come to you, or expect that to have people lined up at the door giving you bags of money. before you even get involved with Feng Shui, we use Feng Shui as a tool to attract those opportunities. But the thing is, you have to have a value or a valuable service or product that you can contribute to the equation. So, like, say, for instance, I had this one client who called me up and she says, David, I put all my water in place. I've been burning my candles, but nothing's happening. And all I can hear is a TV blasting in the background, and she's got some talk show on. It could have been Jerry Springer. I don't know.
Who knows? It was something.
Yeah,
It
so
wasn't productive, that's for sure.
yeah, well, all you do is sit at home and watch Jerry Springer all day long. Who's going to give you money for that? So that's the thing, is that before you get involved in anything to attract opportunities and people to support you, you better have a hook. So you better have a service or a product that others will deem valuable, whether it's to entertain them with a show, whether it's to sing a song, whether it's to be a good attorney, whether it's selling them real estate, but you better have a hook. And your hook better you better be able to describe your hook in 25 words or less, not only to whoever you're trying to pitch to, but also to yourself. So, in other words, you got to know what what your value is that you're bringing to the table. And then you're going to have to be able to let whoever you're pitching it to, let them know how much it's going to cost them and what benefit they're going to derive from it. And if you can refine that hook to 25 words or less, your chances of getting yourself on that path of least resistance for wealth and other things is going to be very, very easy.
People
And
need
those
to
are
be just very clear, right? I mean, the clearer you are, the universe will help you. And I know we believe that because
well,
the universe will help you. And that's why worrying is such a waste of time. The universe thinks that's what you want to have happen. So that inevitably will. So I think, it's just what you said, those 25 words or less, and be super clear on what it is you want, and it will happen.
yeah. I mean, I can't remember how much a person's attention span has shortened in the last 10 years. But you've only got probably less than 10 seconds. It's the elevator pitch. And
It's
you've
true.
probably got that time to really get a person on board, because no one, and that's the whole theme of your show, is that no one's got time to be listening to you babbling on about your life. They don't want to hear about them. They don't want to hear about you. They want to hear about what you can do for them. And
That's
that's
true.
yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about.
So we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we are going to come back with David Cho. And I'm Christina Flach, and I'm Too Busy.
We'll get to work.
Mike Zoric, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zoric, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zoric has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hello, we are back with David Cho. I'm Christina Flach, and this is I'm Too Busy. Hi, David. So I want to talk a little bit about karma because people think it's not real, or they do, but they still kind of want to be shifty and shady. So I know you have an amazing karma story, so let's go. I've got my popcorn and Diet Coke. Let's go.
All right. So this guy calls me, and he's moving from Australia. He's been doing business in the U.S. for years, and then he finally decided that instead of continuing to rent hotel rooms, that he would buy a house. So he calls me up, and I go over to his house. I check it out, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is a pretty interesting house, and I knew what its nature was, because every house, maybe some have creative natures, some have very bossy natures, and other houses have different, but this one was very unique. So he's walking around showing me the house, and I'm just looking for a time, biding my time, to try and let him know what the nature of his house is. So we're walking around, and he's giving me a tour of the house, but the one thing that he didn't do was show me his bedroom, where his wife was still sleeping.
Okay.
And it was at 11 o'clock in the morning, and she was still asleep.
What?
Yeah. So we go downstairs, and his son joins us. He's an adult son, and he joins us. And I ask him, has your wife or your mom been acting peculiarly since you've moved into this house? And he says, well, he was this kind of like manly man, so he was very insensitive, going through a midlife crisis. He had a gray ponytail, and
Oh, God.
really pretty douchey. So then he asks his son, he turns to his son, he says, has your mother been acting strangely? And he says, yeah, she's been acting strangely. And just as he was saying that, she comes downstairs and joins us, completely discombobulated. So I said, so the first thing I asked her was her date of birth after we exchanged niceties. And she couldn't remember her birthday. And then she was just kind of like zoned out. And then after 5 minutes, she just excused herself because she said that she had to go back upstairs. So I said, okay, so your wife can't remember her date of birth. She could barely remember her name, and she was incoherent. So I said, well, what are you getting at? I said, well, didn't know how to tell you this, but what happens is that the feng shui of this house loves to attack the sanity of the oldest female living in it. So it drives the oldest woman in the house insane.
Oh, my gosh.
Both he and his son turned white as sheets. And that's when they told me that they purchased the house from this pop star female pop star who months previously had shaved her head. I can't tell you her name.
Well, I
Shaved,
think we can all figure it out.
yeah, and led the police on a freeway chase back to the
Oh
house.
my God.
So
Wow.
so I said to him, so of course he says to me,
And you
well,
obviously had no idea about any of this.
no, I didn't know it was her
You didn't
house.
know the history of the house.
No. I mean, I don't even recognize people. I remember going to a Sting concert at the Wiltern years ago, and and I was backstage, and this lady, attractive woman, walks up to me, and she asked me, because I was standing by the restroom door, she asked me if the bathroom was occupied. And I said, no, I don't think anyone's in there. And then Erica, my girlfriend, was nudging me, and the lady walked into the restroom, and then she says, "You moron, don't you know who that was?" I said, "No." Turned out to be Goldie Hawn. The worst part about that is that Goldie's one of my clients. So
Oh
I'm
my
completely
God.
oblivious as far as when I walk in the house. I'm a complete blank canvas. So what happens is that the guy naturally asked me, well, is there anything we can do about the house? So I said, yeah, you can do it, but it's kind of a sketchy remedy. He says, what is it? So what you do is that you hire an older woman than your wife to be and have her work in the house, and she becomes a sacrificial lamb, so that
I can't believe.
that attacks her instead. So he's shaking his head, his ponytail's going back and forth like that. And he said, oh, no, that's bad karma. I don't want anything to do with that. So I said, okay, well, then then what we'll do is it will just kind of try and put lipstick on a pig and just try and absorb the negative energy with metal. So then that's course of action we decided
How
to take.
much metal? Because I know how much metal I have in my house. I've got
That,
40 pounds.
that's not the point of this story.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious how
Well,
much
it
you
is
needed.
like
Like, how much can one put in one
25
house?
pounds of metal. 25 pounds of metal is what you need.
Okay.
But it's lipstick on a pig when you're in negative energy. So then 2 weeks later, he calls me back. He says, hey, can you come back and make sure that everything's in place? Yeah, I'll come back. And so I knock on the door. He says, I'm not going to be there, but my assistant will. And so I knock on the door. No one answers the door. Then I ring the doorbell, and still no answer. I'm waiting around for a couple of minutes. Then this frail old lady answers the door. Turns out
No.
he hired his housekeeper's mother to help out around the house. Karma comes into play. For the next year, he immediately started experiencing serious health issues that took a year for it to finally clear up.
Oh my
And that's what
gosh.
happens when you don't practice good karma. It's
Okay, everyone. You heard it from David
yeah,
Cho. You have to
mess
practice
with.
good. You do. So tell us a little bit about, I know you have other stories of other clients. Well, of course, we're not naming any names, but who've had like gone from success to having issues, talk a little bit about that, like how a house can affect your
Yeah.
career and your life.
Well, that's a good thing is that when you have this kind of A/B comparison to make, then the element of coincidence just kind of goes out the window. I had this one client, and this was years ago. You wrote on my bio that I've been practicing for nearly 20 years. I wish I'd only been practicing for 20 years. I'm probably
I think that was my assistant.
Yeah, I
Just
wish it was
continue.
only 20 years, you know? But
How many
anyway,
is it now? Closer to what? 40, 30, 40?
well, I'm not that damn old. Yeah, a little bit. Well, it's over 30 though.
Okay.
But yeah, low 30s, all right? So anyway, so I get this from this guru. I mean, he was like the bomb to all the celebrities. Excuse me. And he's opening up this wellness center in Southern California. And he wanted me to come just check out and verify that its mojo was in place. Well, it turns out that this center has exactly the same feng shui as the first house that I did for you, where the feng shui energy was either extremely excellent or extremely bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so they they had the space planned out um, exactly the same way as the previous owner's space had it planned out. The previous business in that wellness center was a eye clinic or an eye institute.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the guy that, look, you can't be having your people, your key staff, sitting in these bad areas. And he said, well, why not? He said, because where the architect has your office planned and your chief financial or chief executive officer plan was in the worst space for wealth, and then where your chief financial officer and your accounting department is, it's in the most litigious feng shui that's possible that a building can contain.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
he couldn't wait to tell me the history of the place. It was an eye institute where the previous doctor had planned out what happened. Okay, so he opened up the space because this was years ago. He opened up the space, and his business was really, really poor. So he started having his financial uh, department start uh, with false billings, and then that didn't bring him enough money. So he started harvesting healthy corneas and selling them on the black market.
Oh
And the
my. Talk
police,
about bad karma.
oh yeah, that's when the
I
police
mean,
got,
that's diabolical.
oh, they threw him in prison. And that's how my guy wound up with the place.
Oh,
Needless to say, they replanned to position everyone in the good feng shui of the space, because and everything went well. I mean, for the opening, there were people at the party that were just throwing money at him, and
that's amazing.
I mean, to the point where Earth, Wind, and Fire, the real Earth, Wind, and Fire, was playing for the opening because they were some of his devotees.
That's
Well,
amazing.
so everything was going well, but then like about a year and a half later, I was in the grocery store, and I was looking at a National Enquirer, and there he was being sued for all kinds of things, for sexual harassment, all kinds of stuff.
Oh my Lord.
Coincidentally, he calls me and he says, "You know what? I think I need a tune-up." Well, I went back to see him, and what happened was that he moved his marketing department into the same building that was occupying a different building, and in the process, the architect had moved him back into those funky spaces.
It's
Eventually,
amazing.
eventually he lost the place, and he's every once in a while you hear him on the news, but he certainly isn't the generation, the guru that he was supposed to be for an entire generation.
Oh
So,
my
so
God.
what good feng shui, good and bad feng shui can do to you, and
It's
and
it's so powerful. I mean, it's life changing. And it's so funny. I've used you now, let's see, one, two, this is my fourth house. You just did my daughter's apartment. You've done so many people that, and I have friends that are having health issues. They've got all these things. And I'm like, call David. I promise you everything will get shifted. And it's so shocking to me when people just are not willing to be open or try to do something that I know for a fact will work. And it's crazy. So we're going to take another break. We're going to come back with David. We're going to talk about love, sex, good health. So stay tuned. I'm Christina Flach on I'm Too Busy.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and TuneIn Radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hello, welcome back to I'm Too Busy. I'm Christina Flach, and we are chatting with David Cho. Okay, now we're going to talk about something very exciting. We're going to talk about love, my favorite subject.
Okay, so all you need. So what I'm thinking is that let's give everyone something to play with and something that they can apply to their home right
Yes.
away without knowing the mathematics of the calculations of feng shui. And so the thing, whether the universal pursuits are wealth, health, and love. And
Correct.
now we need more information and about individual homes for health. But as far as love goes, all you need to know is if you're looking to spice up a relationship, if your partner is thinking that you're not getting enough attention from your partner, or if you're looking to attract another partner and kick the old one to the curb, then all you have to do is know your Chinese sign to amplify your charisma and sex appeal so that you can attract a new partner or make the old one or the current one that you have very, very interested in you all over again.
So
Okay?
how do you do
And
that?
all you need to do is you need your iPhone. And if you have an Android phone, what you do is that you download the compass on it, the compass option on it, and or
Okay.
application, and then you hold your phone. So you have an iPhone, right?
I do. It's right here.
Okay. And then you go to your main screen, and like say for instance, my main screen already has a compass option, a compass chiclet on it. Does
Okay.
yours?
I don't
Okay,
know
so
how I
what?
would find that.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on the compass option, and you see
Okay.
the compass screen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then what you do is that you hold your phone as if you're taking a selfie. You see this?
Okay.
Just like
Yes.
this. And you see how when I'm going to just do this in the chair, is
Okay.
that if you rotate around, you see how your compass reading changes?
Right.
Okay. So then what you do is that you turn until your compass reads 0 degrees north or
Okay.
thereabouts. See
0
that?
degrees north. Okay.
Can you see that on my phone?
I can't, but I believe you.
Okay, something like that. Okay. So
Okay.
then
0 degrees
do,
north.
uh-huh. Then what you do is you put on your X-ray vision and
Okay.
you imagine um, uh, a laser beam pointing to the exterior wall of your house. You're standing in the center of your house and you're
Okay.
pretending like you're taking a selfie. And when you get to 0 degrees north,
Uh huh.
you envision or visualize a laser beam uh, from your phone pointing to the exterior of your house.
Okay.
On that wall, on the outside of that wall, you put a water feature. And what that water feature will act as is a satellite dish. But instead of for receiving television signals, it receives money signals.
Is that
And
why I have those horse troughs
yep,
around?
and if you
Ah,
go and if you were to do that now, well, you are at home in your brand new home.
I
And
am
if
in my brand new home.
and if you point your phone to 0 degrees north, I mean, we've got other water for different other aspects of your life
Right.
in different parts, but that's because we know the specifics of the magnetic direction and the year built of your house. But
Right.
for viewers in general, if you put water at that 0 degree north spot outside your home, that water will be a magnet for attracting wealth to you.
That's amazing. You can go onto Amazon and get a water feature. I
Uh,
have the dog ones, like these dog, what do you call them?
they're
Drinking
dog.
fountains.
You get a big dog drinking fountain,
Three
and
gallons.
that
I
will,
just bought two for my daughter.
yeah, yeah. Just maybe we'll put up a link or something for
Yes,
that,
definitely.
and
We'll do
then
that in the show notes.
yeah. Then if you have now that's because your daughter lives in an apartment, but
Right.
then outside her apartment on her balcony, it just so happened that 0 degrees north was the location of the left side of her balcony. And
Correct.
that water will attract all kinds of opportunities to her.
Right. And
Now,
that's why she got a mini horse trough.
yeah, and you can literally buy those. The secret to wealth, in fact, you're not going to find in a Chinatown souvenir shop on Canal Street in New York or wherever it is in San Francisco. The secret to your wealth you're going to find at Home Depot in the garden department, and that
It's
and
true.
that's where you went, right? Yeah, because it's all about water. Anytime, as far as any of those talismans, bamboo flutes, jade frogs, or red ribbons, those things are just charms. But the whole thing about traditional or legitimate feng shui is that you want to install water to, or you want to install the actual element, whether that element is fire, earth, metal, water, or wood, is that you want that to, you want to incorporate the physical element of one of those for water to attract opportunities to you or to optimize your charisma. And then you want to light candles in certain areas of your house. And I can't say exactly where that would be in a house because there are actually 216 different locations that will help you close deals or bring those opportunities to fruition. But at least this way, once you bring those opportunities into the house, then at least they're there for you to effectuate some kind of benefit to you.
Tell me your favorite success story of one of your clients.
Well, you're one of them,
That's true.
But,
I was going to say me, but I didn't want you to go, oh, okay, it's not about you today.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well,
you don't have to say someone's name, obviously, but I know you have a lot of interesting clients.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of them because I do 1,000 properties a year. But the ones that are the most meaningful to me are the ones where we can have an A/B comparison as far as the before or after effects. Mm-hmm. And so what this one is about this titan in his field of in his industry. And he called me up, or his designer actually initiated the call. And she said that they just furnished the house, but they weren't happy with the results. And so she wanted me to come over to take a look at the house. It turned out that the house, that all the areas where they were spending all their time, meaning their bedroom, their home office, and even where they relaxed, was in bad mojo. And so they just spent $2 million furnishing the house, and so they didn't want to move anything. So we put the metal in place, and I told him to lower his expectations, that we weren't taking advantage of the good energy in the house. And so shortly after he moved into they lived in the house, his career went away. He got thrown in prison, and just all kinds of bad things happened to him. So I figured that that was the end of him. But then 2 years later, he called me back, and he wound up buying another house that had exactly the same feng shui as the bad house that he was moving from.
Does that happen a lot with people? Like, they typically are attracted to the same energy? Because that's interesting.
Successful people, successful people or happy people intuitively seek out spaces that maintain that frame of mind for them. But if I try to put someone who's terminally ill or who's unhappy or very sick into good space, they freak out. They don't feel comfortable in that. So what Feng Shui does is it confirms, just as karma, good karma will bring good to you, bad karma will also bring bad to you, is that Feng Shui verifies and confirms the twist on that old adage. And so I twist it and say familiarity brings content. And so a happy person or a successful person will automatically gravitate to good Feng Shui. But an unhappy or a sick person will gravitate to bad Feng Shui.
That's so interesting. Yeah, so finish your story about your guy that went to jail. Then what happened?
Yeah, once we moved him into the new house, his career rebounded. he eventually sold a product that he was just fiddling around with as a hobby, and he sold that and became a billionaire. And to this day,
Wow.
he's recognized as the captain of his industry,
That's
and
amazing.
and he contributes and he attributes that to his feng shui. So 25 years later, I just saw the guy about 2 years ago, or no, last year for a tune-up. So we
That's
still
amazing.
have a relationship. So
I love
just as water, if you put the water at 0 degrees north, remember, big water brings big money. So you put the water at 0 degrees north for wealth. You can also use water, and you don't need that much water to attract a new relationship or amp up an existing one. And all you need to do, like I said, all you need is to know your Chinese sign to do that.
That's
How,
amazing.
how much time
So
do we
we're
have?
we're going to take a little we're going to take our final break and we're going to come back with David Cho. I'm Christina
And,
Flach and I'm too busy.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Mike Zoric, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zoric, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zoric has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Hello, I'm Christina Flach and I'm too busy and we are chatting with David Cho today. Okay, David, spill the
okay,
beans. Everyone wants to
all
know.
right.
Everyone wants big love in their life. How do we
Money,
get it?
money and love.
Money and
Those are-
love. That's all you need, right?
okay. So this is how. Okay, this is what you do. You're in your bedroom, and
Yes.
and so you sit or you stand in the middle of the room, and just as I showed you how to use your phone compass to find the
Yes.
spot for your money water,
Right.
what you're going to do is stand in your bedroom, hold your phone again, using its compass and holding it as if you're taking a selfie. And you're going to locate where in your bedroom you need to put a vase of flowers, a specific color vase, and a specific color of flowers to attract new relationships to you. So here
Okay.
you go.
What color and what flowers? That is what people are going to want to know.
So we'll start again with in your bedroom, the wall that when you turn around, I better turn my phone on, and you go to 0 degrees north again. Uh-oh.
Is it always 0 degrees north for all of this stuff?
It's only
Why is that?
you're a rabbit, a ram, or a pig. So you
Okay.
better know your Chinese sign. If you're a rabbit, ram, or a pig, at the 0 degree north spot on the wall in your bedroom, you put a red or purple glass or plastic vase. Don't do ceramic because ceramics or earth dams up the strength of the water. You get either a 1 gallon vase or 1+ gallon vase. If you can't find a 1+ gallon vase, then do a cluster of vases that collectively add up to a gallon of water. It's
Interesting.
red or purple in color with yellow or orange flowers in it. And
Okay.
that will attract and amplify the charisma and sex appeal for the rabbit, ram, and the pig. All right.
Okay.
Now, then if you keep turning around, then you get to 270 degrees west. All right.
Okay.
On that spot on the wall, if you're a rat, dragon, or a monkey, that's where you have to put a. Let me think about that. You put a blue glass vase. Let me hold on. Let me think about that. I get confused. Uh, winter to. Oh no, I'm sorry. Um, oh now I'm going to get everyone messed up. Okay, back to the rabbit, ram, and the pig. It's actually uh, a yellow or metal vase. So
Okay.
yellow vase or metal vase with white flowers.
Okay.
For the rabbit, and that's for the rabbit, ram, and the pig. For the
Okay.
rat, dragon, or the monkey, it's a red or purple glass vase, plastic
Got it.
vase with yellow or orange flowers. All right.
Okay.
And then you go to 180 degrees south. Again, holding your phone until you get to 180 degrees south, and
Uh-huh.
and that's the spot for the ox, snake, and the rooster. And you do
Okay.
a green or a green vase with red or purple flowers, and that will attract relationships to you and amplify your charisma. And then
Interesting.
finally, for the last three signs, which are the horse, tiger, and the dog, you
Mm-hmm.
do either a black or a blue glass vase. When I say glass, that's interchangeable with plastic, as long as it's
Mm-hmm.
not ceramics. You do a black or a blue glass vase, and you put any color flowers in it, and that will attract relationships to you.
Question. And what degrees does that one have to be at? The final
Oh,
one?
I'm sorry. That one is at 90 degrees east.
90 degrees. 90
Yeah,
degrees east. And do they
yes.
have to be real flowers? And does it have to have water
Oh,
in
yeah. It
them?
has to be real flowers.
And
Because,
with water,
yeah,
obviously.
it's a green stalk for the horse, tiger, and the dog that's
Got
coming
it.
into contact with the water. So so again, for the rabbit, ram, and the pig, it's a metal vase or what I tell you, a yellow vase with white
Right.
flowers. For the rat, dragon, and the monkey, it's a red or purple glass vase with yellow or orange flowers. For the snake, ox, and the rooster, it's a green glass vase with red or purple flowers. And then finally, for the horse, tiger, and dog, at 90 degrees, it's a blue or black glass vase with any color flowers.
So that 90 degrees, that's north or south?
90 degrees is east.
Oh, 90 degrees is east. Okay.
For the rabbit, ram, and the I keep forgetting
And horse.
pig. Rabbit, ram, and the pig is 0 degrees north. For the rat, dragon, and the monkey, it's 270 degrees west. For the ox, snake, and the rooster, it's 180 degrees south.
Interesting. So
Don't ask.
where's your favorite place on earth?
My favorite place on earth is, well, it depends. If it's for quirkiness, it's London. I love that
Okay.
place. Yeah, in
Yeah.
fact, it's one of the, and I told you that you can use Feng Shui for all kinds of purposes. And one of the my best ghost busting experiences was in London. And again, it's just about burning candles in a certain part of the house, and you wind up closing those ghost portals. I know the food sucks in London, but I just love it there. Yeah,
I love
anyway,
London too.
yeah.
Melania was living in London for
Yeah,
4
she was.
years. My
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
daughter, yes.
yeah. And so for different.
It's so fast. So do you feel like there's a lot of ghosts that are sneaking around?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. The older the older the place is, the more there's a chance of ghost portals being either temporarily showing up or permanently being there. I just recently evaluated that the house at that's featured in the Amityville horror,
Oh,
and
right.
yeah, and the next time I'm out there, I might get a chance to really close up that ghost portal there.
Oh,
And
wow. That would be fascinating. You need a
work,
camera crew for that one.
yeah. Well, there's ghosts all over the place. So, I mean, even in Mormon country in Salt Lake City, right where they drove that golden spike for the railroad, there's in that building that I can't remember. It's a Union Pacific or whatever building. There's all kinds of ghosts in the bathroom, and that we close up the ghost portal there too. But anyway, that's another story for
I want to
another
hear
time.
more about how do you close a ghost portal in our
Yeah.
last 20 seconds.
All right. Well, the good thing is that all that good mojo that we're activating in your new house, that's
Yes.
what ghost portals are. Because the one thing about ghosts, they do not like negative energy. They're always hanging out where the good mojo lives in a house. And the only way you can figure that out is to know the direction that the house faces, as well as its year built, or the year that it was born, so to speak. And since we knew that, your ghost portals have automatically been closed.
Okay, well, that's great. David, I could talk to you for 500 hours. Thank you so much. I'm going to definitely have you back to finish because I have so many questions to ask. It's so fascinating. I will put in the show notes where to find you. I'm sure you don't want anyone bothering you, but I know people are going to be fascinated with you just the way I am. I love you
Well,
so much. I can't thank
love
you
you.
enough for being on I'm Too Busy. Mwah.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much and have
And
a
I'll talk
beautiful day.
to
And
you
I'll see
too.
you guys next week.
This has been I'm Too Busy with host Christina Flach. Tune in each week as Christina approaches the concept of success holistically, recognizing that achievement is not solely measured by financial triumphs, but also by maintaining a healthy work-life balance and focusing on self-care. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios.